Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. As always, just getting set up. We are going to have some fun. We're just going to make a journal today, and we're going to use our scraps and a file folder for our cover. And when I say scraps, I mean I have a container, just like with pattern paper scraps, and we separate them out. I have them for journals as well. So I have extra ephemera pieces that I've made, some envelopes. That's Christmas. That should go into another one because I do separate these down as well. Oh, they're all Christmas as well. So if I can separate, I will separate. So all kinds, and then these are just papers and pages. And Kitty, good morning. How are you, hon? And all of that fun stuff. So we are just going to, that's an actual journal. Let's get that out of there. So we're just going to dig into this and just have fun making a journal, different size. And we're going to use a file folder for our cover. So I have this one here. And then we're just going to build, 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 build. All right, so I'm going to get this cut. And I'm going to eyeball the center. I think it's here. Let's see. Okay, we'll cut that off. So I just took a standard file folder. Well, that is awesome. I could never stay in bed this late. I'm not sure I would know what to do. Alright, so that's going to go in there like that. Let's see if I did. Well, okay, so it's close. That's okay. It does not need to be perfect. Alright. And now, I'm going to cut these down again. And I think, I don't know, we're kind of winging it. Can you tell? Yeah, we're just winging it. And I can't see. There we go. So now, let's look at this size. I'm going to cut these down to 7.5. Good morning, Cordelia. You had me at scraps and file folder. Yes, see. Now, what's great with a file folder is it already gives you a type of spine because you just need to fold that up. You know, some file folders have 5 score lines, some have 3. This one actually has 4, which is cool because we can bend it on that and it'll give it what I call a rolly spine. So we're just going to get that started on this one. And then on this one, I just want to measure it because we'll get, so that's 3/4. Cool. We're going to use that to our advantage. Okay, so, but this is what we can go for. We're going to have 2 signatures in here right along this spine for this fold and this fold. But I don't want to bend that yet. I'm going to bend this once we get it all together. Oh, yeah, I haven't even started my taxes yet. No, and I'm going to keep the cover with the different lengths after I folded it. All right, let's look at our pages. So I'm just going to grab, we're doing 2 signatures. Let's just make our piles. I'll put one of these in there. These are always fun. They're fun. Yeah. Again, just grabbing stuff. Seeing what we come out with. Now we will be cutting these down. I need another piece. Do I have it? Of course not. That would make sense. Need another piece of coffee dye. We gotta have a little bit of crink. We got that. Now let's dig into these, see what we've got here. They're fun. And unfortunately, I do not know where this printout came from. So I apologize. I know someone will be upset. Don't get too upset, please. This was, I printed it and then I just moved it. All right, let's see. So I'm just digging in. I don't know if this will all fit in here or all go in here, but we'll see where we go. Because we've got 2 signatures. And we just need one more. One more for each side. That's out of pop of blue. All right. Here are our signatures. It's 1. That's 2. So this is, let's just say 5 3/4 height. So let's go 5 1/2 that we want our pages to be tall. So I'm just going to start folding these in half. I'm not worried about if there's anything on the other side. Good morning, Vicky and Gwen. How are you doing? We are just going to do a journal. We started out with a... Did I put the two of the same papers? The back. Now these we're going to fold this way. These will just be our shorter pages inside. And grab whatever you have. Envelopes, scrap pieces. They don't have to be the same size as your journal. You know, have fun by having the different sizes. It gives a lot of interest. And it also gives a lot of flexibility with how the pages will look. Pattern papers, newspapers, magazines. Again, just have fun with it. Put whatever you want in there. And this is a great way to get through your scraps of all kinds of different things. All right, now there's always a method to my madness. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Was that 16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14. Yes. So we will take just one of these out. Yes, I, for some reason, work with odd numbers. And I'm going to grab my ruler, or a ruler, so that we can tear. So we said 5.5. So we're going to go... I keep all these scraps. So we got that one. I know this one should be good. Yep. That one should be good. That one should be good. You don't always have to tear at 5.5 either. So I'm not. I'm just going to place the ruler down and just tear. Some I'll make sure. So how is everyone doing today? And I think this one, I'm going to refold it. No, I'm not. We're going to go this way. And now I'll tear up along that line. And these we're just going to tear along where it's printed. Of course, that one's not going to do it. So we're just going to cut it. Now, you don't have to tear these, of course, with your ruler. You can put these in your cutter. I just like getting that rough edge. You could use a tear ruler. Although me and the tear ruler, we do not get along. I have yet to master that. So I find a straight edge does the same thing. And then our last one for this one. And I think what we're going to do with this one is we're going to take it and we're going to fold it up. And I'm hoping, oh, just at 5.5. Oh, yay me. And then whenever I do this, I'll take my scissors and I notch this out. Just put a V. Just to get rid of some of that bulk. So now in here we'll have pockets. So here's our first one. And you can see when we put it in here, it's going to stop short. That's because I like things to hang out. So that's our first one. And I think we'll actually use this one as the cover. Now we're just going to lay our pieces in. Oh, why thank you. So they enjoyed them, Vicky. Oh, thank you for passing my information along. Very sweet. Let's see. I'm looking at the comments, just making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, Cordelia, you got yours. It's still a group, Vicky. It's still a group. It's people getting together. Still a group. And let's see, what do we want? We're going to make this one the center. So I'm going to refold that one. So that's our center. So you can see how everything's just bleh. That's a technical term. So now we're just going to fill in. And I'm going to put that like that. And we'll put one of these there. Yeah, I can do that. And we'll put one of these in here. I think we're going to put this here. trying to fold it the wrong way. I'm also not worried if the pages are super centered. Who's got time for that? It just adds a different thing. The only thing I do is I just do that. Now, where do I want to put that last one? Let's break this up a little bit. And that's our first one. And I'm just going to grab a paper clip so that it doesn't come apart. And now you get to see me do this all... Oh, I forgot one. Can't forget one. Oh, I think I'm going to... There we go. So that's one. Oh, that's cool that tangling was taught there once. I hope it comes back for you. And this one I want 5.5. That's okay. And then this one here. We'll make this one the pocket. Mmm. So I'll pick that up. And then we'll cut out that notch with a bigger pair of scissors this time. So I did these this way. So I'll be posting today. I finally got the that one Scrappy Tales project that I was not going to fit in there. I got that done, so I'll be posting that today. Today or well, today. So either today or Tuesday. It's nice that you don't have to tear some of these down. And I always like to keep the different edges with whatever you're using on. Again, it just adds that little bit of interest. Something different. And if I cut them off, I sometimes use them as fringes. So if you don't have lace, for fringes. And that, okay, how did I end up with all of that? You know, I knew you were going to ask me that, Gwen. I do not remember where I got these digitals. I know. I'm sorry. So whenever I get any digitals or anything like that over the time, I just throw them in this bin when I have extras. Now, recently I started to make sure that I put a name on it. Yeah, I did. These were a while ago. So, yeah, sorry about that. So sorry. So, unfortunately, no, I do not know where these came from. I know they came from Etsy. That's about all I know. I'm trying to get better. So here, instead of tearing, you can just use your scissors. And then I'll tear off the edges. So using a straight line ruler, it just gives you just a little fluff on the edge. I hope everybody has been staying safe through this horrific weather. Everyone is experiencing. We're actually going to experience it tomorrow. All right, let's get this one together. So I think I'm going to do the same thing. I think I'm going to keep the blues as the covers. Choose one of these. And then we're just going to keep filling in. And I think this is going to be, I think I'm going to change that up because we can. I'm going to make this my cover. Put one of those on the outside. That's going to be my inside. And again, we're just plopping. And I think I'm going to put this one. Let's see if I can do this. In the center of that. I think that would be pretty. And then we just have one more, and yeah, here she goes. So now we have, again, just pushing it together. Something's not folding right. Let's see here. There we go. And again, we'll put a clip on that. All right, so those are our two signatures. So when we put them in here, she is going to be what I like to refer to and others, a chunky monkey. Cheers. Cheers. Oh, Vicky. Okay, I'm so sorry. Hi, Linda. Okay, I'm just going to call you Yazzie because I'm not going to pronounce that right. Hello, welcome. Hey, Heidi. Loved your video. It was awesome. Very, very awesome. Okay, so let's get this sewn in. So I'm going to, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. We're going to try something new because I really don't want to, I really don't want to make my template. I just don't. All right, give me 1 second. All right. So I think what I'm going to do I know what I'm going to do. So since we have our folds, I'm going to use the one that we actually scored or folded along the file folder. So I'm going to take that. All right, I want this one to be in the front. And I'm going to put it in that fold because why not? And we're going to get our clips. So I'm going to use each one as if it's a single signature. So we don't need to use a template per se, because it's just going to get sewn into that. And I'm going to find my center, wherever that will be, and I'm going to clip carefully. And then we're going to fold that up into that fold. And then we'll do this on this side. All right, so that one is in that crease. And we're going to set this one aside. Going to use my black wax, and I'm just going to eyeball here. We're just going to do a three 3-stitch. All right, well, at least that went in there. And I'm just going to go through. I measure 3 times. You could get away with 2, but I never know at the time if I'm going to... I thought I took a needle out. Didn't I take a needle out? I thought I took a needle out. All right, I guess I didn't. I never know if I'm going to add charms or not. So I do want that length. So I'll always go with 3. And we're going to start in the center because I want the tails in the center. We're going to leave a tail. We're going to come back in. We're going to make these holes bigger. I can't see. There we go. We're going to go back out. I'm going to make that tail just a little bit shorter. I pull that down, and we're going to go back in. Well, that went easy. And I do like to straddle. Take my clips off. Hey, Maddie, how are you doing? Yeah, ours is coming in Monday. So we're starting with 40 to 50. And then I'm going to double knot this and let that hang down. All right, so that's our first one that went in. And we didn't do too bad. We're right along that fold. Now we're going to do it again. This is where it's probably going to get very tricky. But you know what? It's okay. And I'm not worried if they're different. Now, if you would be worried that they would be different, all you have to do is take your signature, lay this in there, center it, grab a pencil, and we'll just eyeball. We'll put that there, we'll put that one there, and we'll put that one there. So you just flatten it out, and then we'll fold this back up. All right. And that was upside down. So let's do that again. Because we want to make sure. Yep, see, it's different. Always make sure your pieces are upright. Remember, top, top. Top, top, top. And we'll line that up again. And again, it's not going to be perfect because I'm sure I'm not going to put it into the same spot that I have on the outside. And that's okay. So now I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to get that into that crease. And we're going to clip real quick. Everyone keep their face. Now I'm not going to clip this one because again, it's kind of big and I do want this to move just a little bit. So we're going to go right in and see. It's not too bad. Have fun. Stay safe. I'll see you when you get home. Again, I'm going to make these holes pretty big. All right. We're going to keep that like that. That's an annoying sound. And we're going to rinse and repeat. Oh, that's nice that you're going to have 100-degree temps, Gwen. That's nice. Yeah, we're just... Mother Nature is just getting some frustrations out. So with this, the papers are going to shift just a little bit more, maybe, and that's okay. We just got to wiggle our way back through. And again, I'm going to pull that down and then come back in. Tie a double knot. Move our clips. And let's see how we did. Not bad. I'll take it. But then we can bend these because it can give us that rounded effect if we want it. So it's going to be what I refer to this as a floppy journal, which I like floppy journals. I just think for some reason they just feel really nice in the hand. I don't know why. I do not know why. All right, now the fun begins. Hi, Kalinda, how are you doing? Yeah, the weather has just been all over. It is March. Isn't March the month that comes in like a lamb and out like a lion? Isn't that the one they say that? And then you've got April showers. All right, so let me get just my space cleaned up here because everything, of course, is all over the place. And some of my scraps we're not going to keep. Torn edges, so they can go away. I am going to keep these bigger pieces that we tore off because we can use those as pocket bases, you know, anything like that. So I do want to keep those. Because I would love it if it doesn't make it back into the bin. That's our goal, right? Go through our scraps, use what we have, so that we can make room for more. Yeah, just saying. Just saying. Although I have been very good so far. All right. Oh, it's reverse, Maddie. So it's in like a lion, out like a lamb. Okay. So we're still in the lion phase. Good morning, Holly. How are you? You're not too late. You're fine. Oh my goodness. Blizzard warnings. Yeah, I don't do um I don't do too many well, I don't do well in these storms. Especially with high winds. I am not well with it. So, yeah, Yazi, all you have to do is just grab your papers and then just sew it together. Now, you can get into double ones where you make a template and you do all of those fancy things. I was lazy today because it doesn't have to be, just like with anything, it can be very simple to absolutely complicated. Yes. Now, I usually go on the bar of absolutely complicated because I make it that way. But it doesn't have to be that way. So just by pulling papers, and again, any papers you have, pattern papers, notebook papers, old journal pages, anything, magazines, all you have to do in no time, in like a half an hour, we've got the base of our journal together. Very much so. Now, this too, we can take this and we can fold that over. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep the difference in the length because this is just, she's going to expand out once we put all of our stuff into it. To get it trained, what I am going to do, because we control our paper, as we do, I'm going to grab a large clip. And I'm going to press on that. And I'm going to put that there. And that should, start saying, okay, you need to fold. You need to get those folds in. So now let's look. I mean, I've got these envelopes that are already together. I've got tags that are already cut. And all of these different pieces that we can have fun filling in. But let's make our pockets first in our journal. And I think for that, I am going to use a base cardstock just to give it some strength. And I'm going to use this cream. So I want to focus on this back file first. Get the cutter out. And we'll make this a 2-inch high pocket. So we can use that piece. I'll pull in some of these scraps and just make a little masterboard. Why not? And I'm going to use my glue stick. Because to me, that's going to go quicker. And I am going to get glue all over that mat. And that's not going to work for me. So I did finally break out my glass mat. And I am enjoying it. It's easy to clean. Well, that didn't tear right, but we're going to use it. We're going to go with it. And I'm going to trim all the excess away. Let's grab some of our digitals. And remember, you can always have a theme to your digitals. It's not necessary, but you can. We'll use that one that I folded up. So anyway, yeah, tomorrow's not going to be a good day for me, but all will be fine. I wanted that word classy. Let's see. All right, and there is, real quick, and you can see just by putting that clip, she's not, I mean, she's still going out, but you can tell she's not fighting too much. You can put it under weights, but we'll have something tying it. So I'm going to put that there. But I did want to put this here because I thought it looked cute. Oh no. Oh, that's not there. And then I'm going to glue this down to this base so that you can see that black strip. And then we're just going to cut around it. Just like that. And if we want, we can round this. There you go. So now it looks like a little file folder. And I cut too much off. That's okay. Because we can do this. I know, I heard you all screaming. There we go. We'll just add a little bit of white. There we go. See? All better. Or, you know, you could have just left it alone. And now I'll just put glue on 3 sides because we're going to make this a pocket. And we'll hold that in place. Now, since I kept this long, when it closes, you'll be able to see that little bit coming out. And we can take one of our paper clips. I made these a long time ago. These are those hidden paper clips. And we can have that coming out. And we can add a tag. And an envelope. What else can I add in here? I've got pockets that are already pre-made. Oh, that's awesome. And then we can tuck that in there too. That's done. All right, let's get to this because this automatically becomes a pocket for us, which is really cool. I love lunch bag paper bags. They are just cool to work with. They're cool to put things together when it comes like this. Hey, Joe. It does, doesn't it? You know, just even if it's white ink, we can just have fun. Oh, have a good one, Vicky. Anthony. All right, let's grab some scraps. Now, I'm just going to do a rough measurement here. Okay. Let's move that up there. And I think no. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of measuring there. And we will make this 2.5. If I can see it. So now that's going to go just right in there. Just like that. And now I can glue these down. And now we'll just measure that. That's 5. So 3 1/8. I just keep pushing things. What do you mean, never mind, I did already? Is that for me? Did I miss something? And then what did I say? The 3 1/8, right? Right. Let's just go with it. And then that should fit right there. Now we need to take a smudge off. Just a smudge. And we're just going to eyeball it. Because we can. There we go. Now you could turn this into a pocket as well. But I think with all of the pockets that we'll have, let's not get carried away. All right, let's see if I have another tag. Oh no, but I have a journal card. So we can set that in there, and that'll fit nicely in there, or you can set it this way, whichever way you want. Give people the illusion that it's a postcard. So we did that. This will be a cute little pocket. So you can put a bigger postcard in there. I did these, I forget when I did these. Oh my. And that'll stick out nicely. And then here's another one that I did. Oh, that's got a pocket. Oh, that's fun. Okay. So these are things that I have made over the years. Literally. Just saying. So a piece like this, why not? It's a scrap. And it can sit right in there. Yay. So if I find the other paper bag, we can have that one in there. And again, it will stick out. So again, when we close, now we're starting to get these things. I like mini poofs or big poofs just to come out of the journal. That's usually what I do, or what I like to look just that aesthetic. Whether it's, you want to call it chaos, crazy, you know, whatever that is. Now, this paper I do know is from My Porch Prints. Yes, this is from My Porch Prints. I don't know the other ones. These are all scraps. All scraps. And again, if there's something that you're seeing when it comes to ephemera, um, you know, let me know. I can do a video on. I'm dropping things now. A video on it. You just gotta let me know. I love all of it. Okay, so we're just gonna go with Holly. She loves all of it. So okay, we'll redo the videos. I did these videos a long time ago. All right, so here's our one pocket here. Now I am going to trim that down so you can see I can get that out. And I'm going to make the angle just a little bit deeper without cutting the book. Oh, that would have been fun. There we go. So there you go. So now that's not, you know, as we put things in, it's not going to get caught. But you can even pull that in more, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to come across the fold. And then we'll make our angle again. And again, make sure you're not cutting into your cover. And if you do, it just gives it a different look. Really, really does. Let me get that clip because this is just getting on my nerves. All right, so now I'm just going to add glue to one side. There we go. Now let's add. This is a master board that I did, because you can see the stamping and all the different, and I even used tissue paper on top of it, and I did sew on these, and then this was done with magazine pages, and I backed it with coffee dyed papers. So, master board. Let's see what else. Now, you can also, what's great, you don't always have to have a pocket. You don't always have to have a belly band or something like that. You can simply decorate your page with something. So if I take this, because again, I do like to have a lot of journaling space in my journals. I want people to be able to write and add their own things, whether it's more pockets or tags or whatever. So you, as I was off camera there, so you can simply take a piece of your papers, tear it down, and this is just decoration. It's not functional, but it's decoration. It's like adding a piece of lace, but it's to the page. Maybe the recipient of this wants to just outline this with a pen. So to give them the ability to be interactive in the journal, that's something that I look to do. Oh, Kalinda, have a good day. Yes. Yeah, book page ephemera vids and all of that fun stuff. Oh. Yeah, surgery. Just be careful that you don't cut it. I almost cut into the cover. Again, would have just added something. Just saying. Joe, I'm a huge fan of porch prints. I think they do a lot of fun things. Now, since this page is coming off heavy, so like this here, what I see, oh, look at that. I took a lesson from Biddy here. I'm actually using my large scissors. I'm not sure about it, but okay. But I can only use my large scissors if I do not care about the fussy cutting. All right, so we have that. I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to trim that off. And then I do want to back this. So I'm going to back this onto this cardstock. And we're going to do that fussy cutting again. So your pieces of paper can just be the decoration. For me, ephemera is interactive. That's what I wanted to say. Now I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to glue that to the other side. And we're going to glue that down. So very scrappy here, you know, just having fun. And now I'm going to cut this out again. But now it's just a little sturdier because I'm going to put this on an end of a page. Again, I like things to pop out. And it doesn't always have to be a tag. Trim the edge. So now when I turn that over, it's got something on the back. And I'm going to put this I don't know if I want it on this side or this side. I think I want it on this side. So they don't have to, like I was saying, they don't have to be tags. And I just want to smooth out that straight edge. But they can be, you know, your ephemera. And I'm just going to put some glue down. And we're just going to get that there. And we'll make sure that this has glue up here to hold it. There we go. So we got that. And then if you don't like that edge, all right, well, we can remember these. Love these kids. We made cards with these kids. And we can just glue that like a tuck. Just putting glue on two sides and then just laying that in the corner. And just holding that there. Hey Shay, how are you doing? Oh, Jill, have a good day. I thought it was Kalinda that was leaving. I'm so sorry. Okay, so now you got a tuck. And in the tuck, we can put all kinds of things. Let's see, what do I got here? You know, it's awesome to look back at all the things that you've created. Just saying. It's amazing. It's like, when did I make that? So here, this was a book page base with another tag and all of that fun stuff. Oh, that's too big. But we can put it in. No, I wouldn't want to put it in that one. It's too big. Too big. See, I don't even make small ephemera. I make big pieces. I found a small one. Found a couple of them. There we go. I took them from something else. All right. So now we've got that. That's too much alike. Let's get that one in there instead, and we can add ribbon to that. Feeling a poof. Feeling a poof coming. No, Anthony, you do not need this type. Well, and what I'll say, Anthony, is when it comes to a journal like this, where you're just putting papers in, whether you're using a complete digital collection or you're just digging into the scraps like I am because it's getting full and the container's about to burst in some way. You don't need any rhyme or reason with this. This is just slap it together, let's see what we come out with, and it's going to be gorgeous. I do feel though, when you're doing a scrapbook album, with the flips and the magnets and the cards, you're using pattern paper, you're creating your hinges, that, yes, I do have to be specific with that. I can't be too random with that. It's a purpose. I'm completely and fully intentional, and it absolutely slows me down because I do have to think, okay, what is this doing? But for this, no, grab those scraps, have a ball. So we have a tuck on here, and then we have, again, it's even coming out to the top. So as we continue to close this, we've got things poofing out the side. We've got something sticking out the top. All right, so this, okay, we've got that. We could put something here because I like this as a journaling page. Now, I did find I had made, so this will be fun. So these are like, they can be mini belly bands. They could be attached to a paper clip. These were like elongated clusters. So let's get that in there. And again, we can have it come off the page. I like it when things come off the page. We can turn it into a small pocket. So you can tell I'm really coming up on that. I'm going to turn this upside down so that I know that's where I want to put that. I'm not going to worry about covering this up here. I mean, you can put something there if you want. I mean, if you wanted to, you could put that there. And again, just to give it something if you're like, no, I gotta have something there, and all of that. So just to show you what that would look like. And whenever I do a journal like this, I fill it as I go. Because if I stop and go back, nope, I'll lose all the fun in it. So now we've got this small pocket. Matter of fact, these were made from Biddy. These were made right around the time Biddy made that cluster book. Everyone remember that? That's when these were made. Okay. Now I know. Oh, hello. Yeah. Well, here we go. So we got a small tag there. Oh, and we have a small envelope there. There we go. Filled. Moving on. I usually leave that alone. I leave this alone. These are cute little journal spots where they can clip onto. Now I'll probably, metal will be coming into this. So this is where I'd put like a paper clip thingy. Gonna leave that, leave that. Here's another pocket where we can add some things. Again, not worried about size. And it doesn't necessarily have to, that's Christmas. It doesn't have to be tags that you put into these things. It can be journaling cards. It can be, that matches. It can even be a piece, like a floral, like this. So that could sit. This is by Sweet Peas. Yes, she has lots of florals, gorgeous florals. And we will, while I have it, I'm going to punch a hole in that, because then we can have another poof. So we've got stuff in there. And now we're at our center. I leave my centers alone. And now we're going to go through to the other side. So now here, this is closed. Now you can keep this closed if you want. It's just like a divider. What I usually do is I'll come across with my scissors, cut across the top. Now it's open, and you can either punch, you know, a half circle here. What I'll do, or sometimes what I do, is I'll come down with my scissors, cut along the fold to the end of that, and then I'll fold it over. And then I will glue this down. Angle. Angle. And now we have a fold over envelope pocket. And let's grab, oh yeah, okay, let's do that there. I'm just going to tear it. And this one I'll cut. And then I'll cut that there. Try not to use, and again, only if you want. If you are an exact measurement, then yes, you continue. Use your paper trimmers. I try not to unless I'm creating a base or something like that. And there we go. Now we just decorated the front. This will fold over. And then I will grab dun dun dun. A paper clip. And that's the only embellishment that would need. Oh, you guys are funny in there. right, so let me go back real quick. Oop. I forget. Do y'all remember where I said I was going to put that paper clip? Can't remember. Oh, we're going to put one here. But I thought it was somewhere else. There we go. Alrighty. Continuing on. Got that. It's going to have a little poof. So we've got that. These are just fun pages. We leave that alone. I'm going to leave that alone. So you can see, I don't do every page. And I also take notice, okay, did I do something on this side compared to this side? You can take note of that. And then even with here, you could put something on this side. But this would be a cute spot for someone to write, to journal in. So again, I'm always thinking about journal spots and all of that fun stuff. Now, I know that this is coming up, so something's going to be here. So I am still going to do something here. Usually, I don't like to put two things back to back, especially if there's a pocket, because then they can journal on this side on what's in the pocket. Yeah, there's a method to my madness. Just a complete method. Okay, let's pull out the big guns. Now, this is too tall. Okay, I like that. Where did I put? I know I pulled it out. Where did I put it? I want this. That's what I want. So, like I said, you can use your ephemera. So I'm going to put this here, and we're going to make it a tuck. And I'm going to set it up just a little bit. And because this is, lightweight paper, I'm going to push it in just a little bit. And then I'm going to take one of my clusters. Oh, well, we're going to leave that string there. I love strings. Yes. And that's going to sit right down here. Now, you can also make that a pocket as well, but things are going to get hung up to it. So I'm going to really make sure that this is glued down. And we're going to push that. All right, so now we've got that coming down. Got that sticking out. Let's do the same thing. And you can see now the weight is now pushing this down. And you can see, and we're almost through the first signature. What time is it? Oh, that's not bad. Look, we're only an hour and a half in, and we're almost done this journal, at least the inside. I'll figure out what we're going to do to the outside. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. All right. And we'll name it. Because, like I say, I always name my journals. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find some papers. And is this big enough? Yeah, I think that is big enough. that. That. I like that. Nope. Okay, that looks kind of cool. Then we can do that. So using up the scraps. And plus this looks cool because it looks like it separation. So now we have that. And we can we put that? Nope. So you need something shallow in there. What we can do is put that like that. And these are just craft paper stamped in the background and then just a piece of digital with a piece of tulle behind it. And we got a little poof coming out. All right, let's see. So now that I did something here, want to look at doing something on this side. So we're going to look at that. And then we are at the end of that signature. All right, now what do we want to put here? I really, yes. So, cute kids coming back in, and I think they would look absolutely adorable. And you don't have to glue it down. I'm going to take a clip, and I'm going to paper clip that, and something can be tucked in behind here. So if you wanted to, you could grab this piece. There's beautiful images on our digitals. And then that can just sit right there. And if you wanted to, you could fold it, but the recipient can write on the back of this, fold it up, and then tuck it back in there. So good. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can make sure I don't cut. I think I'm going to. Let's see. So I like to do just a little bit of yoke. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. Just do a little bit of yoga here. That's all. That's a little bit. I'm going to go down to that, and then I'm just going to, there we go. Then I know I didn't cut the cover. So we have that. Now I can put that in there. Again, just more tags. You can add a little poof to that one. I always like to, I know I work in odd numbers, but I need to at least have 2 tags. All right, and we are at the end of that signature. So you can see, oh yeah, she's getting chunky. Yep. And I like it. All right. So let's look at this. So now we have our pocket again. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go down and rip it out, because then I know I'm safe. Glue that down. And we'll add one big one there. Through here's another pocket where we can just put something in there. Oh my God. That's really big. How big is that? Not too bad. I like it. Like it. Hold on to that. This is from a sepia collection from My Porch Prints. See, I do know some of them. I'm going to put something on this side. And I had made these, so again, out of craft. And then just a piece of coffee dyed paper, torn, a little bit, these were called cigarette cards. And then a little bow. So we're going to put that in. That's going to be our tuck. I'm going to remove this release paper. And we'll get that down in there. And again, just hold it down. It's got some twine going on there. And because it has all of that, okay, I'm going to hold my finger there. Just going to keep the tag simple. Down now? Yes. And we'll just put one of the masterboard tags there. So here, journaling. Let's do something on this side. And it can be something as simple. So these were envelopes that were covered in tissue, in a napkin. And just, you know, that whole Mod Podge stuff. So you can just take that, put that there, grab a clip. Page is decorated, and you can flip that around if you want more. So yeah, that's what I want to do. And it's poofing out. We did that. Journal. I leave the center alone. We can do something here. And here we can take, these are little tiny charms out of mini tags. But we can we're going to pop a hole. Like that. Okay. I'm going to grab my cardstock again. So I'm going to use a 1/4 inch, or you could use a hole punch. I have to vacuum. And then I'm going to come in with a 3/4 circle. Now they're all over the place. We're going to glue these together. And what that's going to do, so you create your own reinforcement or reinforcer. That's just going to make this page just a little stronger. So that it'll take this charm flipping as we turn our book. So now we've made that a little stronger. And we'll add this. We can go in. And now we've got a charm. Charm. And you know, Holly, it's the simple things, right? I get it. I get it. And again, I know we don't want to add to our stash. I get that. But there are certain things that we can have in our stash to keep it simple. One of those things that I feel are circle hand punches. I don't know why, but for me, circle hand punches, you can do so much with them. And what I mainly do is, yes, I make my own reinforcements, or I'll make my own paper charms. You know, where you just keep cutting the circle and then you put a piece of pattern paper or digital print over it and then put a rivet through it or an eyelet. And there you go. You've made your own charms. You don't necessarily have to have, you know, a metal charm that comes off your journal. That's our center. I'm going to leave that. All right, where are we at? Okay, so we do have that. So we put that large thingy there. That would be a postcard that I was trying to think of. We can fit another one in there. What we got here? I want to put something here, and then we are at the end, and then we'll do that. Okay. And then there's something else that am I going to be able, well, we can do that. There we go. We can take, let's add a flip out. So you guys have to remember these cards. I think there's something on here. Oh my goodness. What was on here? There was something on here. Now it's not. All right. So not a big deal. We can take can I paper clip into it? Oh, it's upside down. I guess that would be bad, right? You can just get inventive. That's all we gotta do. Gotta get inventive. There we go. All right, we're gonna add that. We're gonna put lots of glue on it. And we'll set that there so that the white spot isn't so bad. So this has fabric in it. This had a master board going around it. And then it's got a fabric pocket. So we can take this Now, we could turn this in a pocket as well, but I think it's pretty big. So I'm going to glue the whole thing down. I'm really close up to that camera, sorry. And then, okay, I gotta fix that. And then we're gonna put that right on the page. And I am gonna hold that there. Checking out the comments here. Yes. I always have to, yeah. They're small. They're very, very small. Now this came in a set. So this came with a 1/4 inch and I think a 1/2 inch. And that's the size of like a reinforcer. So this was a set by EK Success. Yes, circle punches they are. Now, of course, I think you can go up to 3 inches with a hand punch. Um, so you know you won't be able to go that big. But if you're an A2 size card maker, then that's perfect. Okay, so now I need to look at this because I'm sure. There it is. Going to get the glue off on the other side. I went on a little crooked, doesn't matter. And now we've got a flip. Flip. And then we can put something in there. So let's put, oh, these are cute, and it's too big. Okay. Got some tickets here. We can put those tickets in there. And we've got that more of a sepia. There we go. And then we can put that in there. There we go. All right. The last thing we have is this, and we're going to make our pocket again. So again, we're going to cut off the top, or our envelope. And then I'm going to come in on the sides, cut, and again, just make sure you're not cutting your other pages. I know I keep saying that, but you know, there is a reason why, because I've done it. We're going to just fold that down, and we're going to glue it. There we go. And then we're going to angle, fold over, and we're going to decorate. And I think I want to use that. Oh, look at that. I cut 2 at a time. Okay. I like the torn edge along the top. Again, it just adds a little interest, that's all. Nothing too fancy. And then when we fold that over, we add glit. All right. And then finally, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to angle down. Don't cut the cover. And we're just going to pop it out. We'll flip that up. And you don't always have to put something in there. You can just add a cluster if you want. But I do like to add, this is a large, where I wrapped around the digital. And there we go. Whoop. And that is our chunky, but it feels so good in the hand. I don't know why. I do not know why. Okay, so now how would I even close this? Well, we're going to do that very last, because now what we're going to do is we are going to decorate the outside because it's only 10:40. And look at that. We did that in just under 2 hours. Now, this style may not be for everyone, by all means. I mean, this is just all over the place. To me, that's what makes it fun, to have all of these different things that, you could decorate the front here. And again, whenever I put together a journal, whether I'm selling in person or if I'm selling online or even if it's a gift, there's always a bag of scraps. Literally scraps. I may cut them into tags. I may cut them into certain sizes. I may keep them the full size, or I may just cut them bigger so that the recipient can have fun and get into decorating it, or adding little notes and adding a paper clip or adding a note and tucking it in behind here. So there's always more that they will get. I leave this alone, again, for them, for the recipient to have fun with. All right, now I'm going to find the center. Okay, front. I need a Post-it. Now, what I need is we'll just put a clip. That's the front. Okay, capital letters. I see Anthony. Desiree, since you are, excuse me, the finder of all things cool. Well, do you know where to find IBM key punch cards? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Wow, that's going back, Anthony. Oh! You know what? I don't know. So, a small amount of the stuff that I have for journals, I was able to get at previous employments. Like if they changed their branding so they couldn't use the envelopes that they had, I'd be like, hello, can I please have a box or two? And they would. But I have to admit, when it comes to some of those older items, two places: thrift stores, not the Dollar Tree. Thrift stores. Sometimes people or businesses take that stuff there. Or, believe it or not, search on Amazon. I found, and you can put just that in the search with Amazon, but I literally found some vintage style time cards off of Amazon. I mean, they look vintage. So I would give that a try. Or again, a bigger thrift store with a huge stationery section into it, they may have them, because businesses will do that. All right, now all right, I want to keep that there. I'm going to keep that there. So again, we're still just going to use our scraps or past ephemera pieces that are just sitting in a box, so not being loved, than they should be. To create our cover and our back. Told you a poof was going to come in. See, I've always done my poofs. Okay, bye-bye. All right, so that's going to sit there. Yeah. All right, so that's going to completely get glued down. And so is this. Now, I'm not going to put another poof there. What I'm going to do oh, please fit, but not too well that you go all the way through. So I'm going to cover that up with a brad. There we go. So that's going to be our cover. Good morning, Teresa. Oh, Cordelia, yeah, you hit the jackpot on them. That is awesome. Yes, Maddie, I do. There are just certain journals that I do keep, that I put aside. And they're ones that I've shown on here. Um, but often, there are times that as I'm making one, um, that somebody will contact me because I'm up in the air. I don't know if I'm going to put it, to sell online or if I'm going to bring it to the craft show until, that moment. So, but yeah, no, there are certain ones where I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got to keep this one. Um, Absolutely, and I do use them. I do enjoy using them. I want a cluster. All right, and then that's going to be our back. I know this is an envelope, but I really just like that. It's soft. It's not too vibrant. Um, well, yeah. Okay, so that's going to be our back. Now, what I do want to do, though, I need to cover that with something. I don't like that one. I need to. You know what? I'm gonna cover it with that. I know it's an envelope. It's okay. We're gonna repurpose this envelope. Yep, we're gonna repurpose the envelope. And I'm sorry if I'm making somebody cringe by doing this, but I just really like the pattern. I really glued that together, didn't I? All right. Thank you. Because I really like those flowers, and I want those flowers right on top there. So I want those peeking out the other side. So that's what my brain is doing. I'm going to put a lot of glue up over the strings, the threads. Boop. And I don't need it to cover all the way down because it is going to get glued onto the back. All right, so we are coming, not close, well, we're close to the end. And what I mean by that is we're getting our covers done. I've just got to glue them. So with everyone here, come up with a name. Now, I am also going to punch a hole in this. Because now that I've done all of that, and we're pretty much at the end of this, now what's happening is my brain is just thinking, so I'm going to take this. Again, we're using our scraps. I'm going to get that glued down. So see, I'm repurposing the envelope. And we're going to let that dry. I only need 2 of these. Where are... And then I like dangles. I like poofs. So we are going to make because now my metal's got to come in. I always have to have metal. So I reinforce that. And now that this is going to sit here, and then that's going to sit there. All right, so because this is on the cover, I'm going to pull out my double-sided tape. There's the cluster I was looking for. Okay. Now I'm going to pull out the big guns. I love this tape. So since this is going to be on the cover, now what I also want to do is I'm going to flip this over. And I'm just going to push it up a little bit. Grab a pencil. Draw a line. Oops. Because then I know now where the tape needs to go. This tape will definitely hold. Yeah, this stuff's not going to go anywhere with this tape on there. And I just want to make sure that it does stay in place. The covers, at least in my opinion, they take the brunt because they're being slid on and off a shelf. Your hands. are always touching that. All right, so we got that. I was about to say, where's my cluster? But that doesn't mean that I don't mind if something is dangling, like this piece here. Okay. You know, I'm just going to put a small piece up on the top and the bottom. All right, so now let's get all of these in. And I do not need to add glue to these, to this tape. And I'm going to put my finger there. Yes. Now, that's not going to, and Max is snoring again, if you hear that. It's his way of saying hello. And we're going to put that coming off of it. All right, so that's our back. Now let's get this down. Now this is actually a paper clip. But you know what? I don't want it to be a paper clip. So we're going to change it. I mean, I could glue this and just keep that right there and it won't touch, and then you've just got that, but I don't want that. So I'm just going to go in. I don't want to cut that piece. There we go. And then that'll be protected so no one will get hurt because it'll be glued down into the book. In fact, I can take the ribbon and push it down. All right. So same thing, we're going to get our tape on there. And that's all I'm going to do. I can't put any tape here, but I will put some glue. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. With the tape. Wrong scissors. So, did anybody come up with any names? I know, I came up with one. All right, we're going to put our last piece on. Meaning to the front. And then that's just going to sit right there. And then we've got a little, you can put a little charm there if we want. Or if we have, oh, there we go. We have some tickets that we can use. There we go. So we have that. Now for these, what do I want to do? It really takes a lot for me to put charms coming off the bottom of a journal because it sits on a table, meaning it's sitting upright, or it's going onto a shelf, and they can get caught in the shelf. So very rarely I add charms to it because there's so much else going on. So I think I am going to go in and just tie these into a bow. And I'll make it a big bow as well. Because, again, the recipient, so like I'm not trimming that. I'm keeping all of that there. The recipient can do what they want with it. So it's not like I'm cutting it off this time or anything like that. So there you go. Okay. So one thing I want to do, where's that scrap piece? Oh, if you all could see the side of my desk. Oh my goodness. I can't find anything. All right, give me 1 second here. I just gotta get some my tools, tape. Oh, don't throw away the ink pad. That would have been horrible. Okay, I want that. I want that. I want those. Those. And that. And that. Okay. Oh, oh my. Let's see. Okay, I don't need that. Oh, almost threw that out. There it is. I was looking for those pieces. And the pieces that I'm throwing away are all these little bits here. All my other scraps went back into the bin. All right. So here, let's make a charm, a paper charm. I love making these paper charms. So I grabbed my, is this too small? Because I need 5 of these. And this is a heavy weight. But I think I'm going to go as many as I can. All right, so there's 6. Let's see what that feels like. I don't think it's thick enough. I usually use 110 pound. So I'm just going to add a couple more of those from this scratch piece. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue all of these together. And I just keep them cupped in my hand. And what's great, if you have different size circle punches, I mean, think about it. It took me no time to hand punch those. If I had to die cut, it's a workout. And, you know, my die cutting machines, I know deep down they love me. But they're starting to shake. Because I do a lot of die cutting. And I'm just going to flip around so that the 2 cardstocks are on the outside of this. And you can certainly, going to make sure it's all lined up. And then I'm going to press. There you go. And it is, I mean, these are solid when they dry. Then I'm going to choose, so this is actually going to get attached to our back here. It's going to dangle here. So I'm looking at the papers that I have, and I want something to stand out. So I'm going to pull this in, and I want that. And then the back, I'm going to pull, I really want that butterfly. I'm going to trim down the paper. And that's going to be the other side. So now, we're going to get these on. Now, I want the butterfly to sit a certain way. So I'm going to flip it this way so that I know that that's how this is going to sit. So I'm literally going to put my fingers in there so that then I can come in on that corner. And that's going to go there. And then I'm going to set this aside to dry. Needs to dry. All right, I'm going to come in with this large clip. Again, it's just a decorative piece that goes in there. Now, the only thing that we have left is how are we going to close it? Ophelia. Why Ophelia, Shay? That that intrigued me. Okay, so we're letting that dry. I'm going to need an eyelet for it. And these are, I love these eyelets. They're big, but I love these eyelets. These are the only eyelets where the operator, aka me, has no issues. Yeah, I'm just saying. And that's because that they are split down at the bottom, so they will curl back on themselves. For me, that's key. And I love We Are Memory Keepers, their eyelets, but no. I buy them bulk. And I buy them silver, like this, and then I dye them with alcohol ink. I put them in a big bag and I just dump all kinds of browns, alcohol inks in there to make them vintage looking. Yes. Okay. Ribbons. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. 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 Yes. Oh. Oh, excuse me, Max. He just gave me a look that was unbelievable. All right, I think I'm going to go gray, teal, and my twine. I want this one, and this one we're going to go gray. So what I do, now some have said this is wasteful, but it's what I like to do, so I don't care. And I just pull. And I go at least, I don't know, close to a yard. I don't know. And then I fold it in half. And then I fold it in half again. I don't worry if it's even. And I look at how tall it is. Okay, that's way tall. So I'm going to fold it in half again. And again, I don't worry about if it's even. I don't want it even. And then I will work it through the opening carefully. All right, now we've got the bunch on this side and we've got this side. You want to make sure that you're back into the loop, and then you're going to grab that, and then you're going to gingerly wiggle. Yeah, wiggle that. Yep, just keep wiggling, and then start pulling one at a time to get it tightened down. This is not a very thick tag. It's a book page. So if you really yank on it, you will tear right through the book page. And we don't want to do that. But by going slow and hitting each one of these, you can see it's starting to tighten itself down. And that's all you have to do. Again, very slowly, each one, pull on each side of the loops. It's gonna lock in. And there you go. That's all you have to do. And then when we put that in there, poof. All right, now there was another one. All right, that one's got that. this one. Let's do teal for this one. This is a technical way to undo your ribbon. Now this one, I may not do as much, so I'm going to go to there. Again, I don't worry if they're even. And it all depends on where it goes to. Like this one's going to be coming out the side. So yeah, maybe I do want this poof a little longer. Now if the tails are really long, then yeah, I will trim them. But now you have that. That's going to go there. So now I'm just making sure. I don't know if we have any. Yeah, we have this one. Let's do another gray one. Oops. And when that happens, just find it and push the rest of it through. It can happen. It's okay. But you want to make sure that you're pulling on both sides. There it is. There we go. Now, not that one. It's this one. So this one, I am going to snip, and then I'm just going to tie it in a knot. There you go. Easy peasy. So now we've got that one. And I don't think, yeah, we just have this one. This one I'm just going to do the twine. Everything doesn't have to have a ribbon. And the ribbons I like to use are the organzas. I really don't change too much from that. I just like the way they look. Usually I only get into the satin ribbons for Christmas. Oh, where was that one? It was somewhere. We'll find a spot. I don't know where it was. We'll just put it right there. Don't know where that was. Oh, it was here. There we go. Yeah, I know. Pretense. We got that. We got that. We got that. There's our charm there. Got that. So the only thing we have left, literally, is this. All right, so let me put my rubber band around that so that doesn't unravel. Same with these. Now look. Thank you. All right. My super duper puncher. I'm going to find the top. I'll go by the butterfly and get that in. Love this hole punch. And it just smoothed right through that. I'm going to put my eyelet in. I'm going to use my ball and chain. And here we go. So that will dangle down like that. We've got this. Now for our closure. So I'm going to use teal again, because I think that, no, you know what? I think I'm going to use a brown. So whenever I double, this is this 1.5? No, this is 1 inch organza. So since we sewed outside, I can feed this through our strings. And we're just going to use a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to wrap the organza over it. And I'm going to slide it into and underneath where we sewed. All right. Now you could go to the top one, you can go to the bottom one, wherever you want to go. Now you can decide if you want this doubled or if you want it single. I'm going to go with a single. So I always keep this attached to the spool. But I do like to have extra because in case this grows, meaning as more and more is added to it, I want this to be able to expand with it. So I'm going to cut that there. And we're just going to tie this. Don't worry if things get bent up. It's, again, that's the beauty of a journal. It's to be used. It's to grow. It's to do all of those fun things. And you know what? I get it. Been there, done that. I would put these together and I would worry about all of the small stuff, all of those little things. And if we're going to be scared to use it, or the recipient to use it, what's the um, what's the use in creating it? So paper, it's paper. This is paper. So you'll tear paper. It will tear. It will wear out over time. There's some coffee dyed papers in here. You know, again, can you make coffee dyed paper acid free? Absolutely. And Treasure Books, she shows how to do that. I don't do that. I just make coffee dyed paper off of copy paper. So that will fade in time. But when people purchase these, that's all told to them to let them know. Okay. Now, what will go on the back is my branding will go on the back, and then what we name it. Now, the name that's got me intrigued, and I think that's what we're going to go with, is what Shay had suggested, Ophelia. I know the story of Ophelia, so I get it. I think that's a perfect name for this. But let's do our flip through. Again, our front and our back cover are different sizes. The back is longer, it comes out further than the front. I like that because then things are still resting inside the journal with this back cover bigger. We don't have to worry about the front. Now remember, we used extra die cut digital pages that I had in my stash, all the extras, because when I work with a digital for a journal, I do print the pages multiple times because I don't know which one I'm going to gravitate to. I don't know which one's going to go the way that I want it to go. So I do always have extra pages, but I keep them. I throw them in a bin, just like my pattern paper scraps. Um, I have made lots. I have made lots of ephemera over the years, over the course of this channel, and I didn't use all of it because I would make multiples of the clusters, of the multiple pocket tags, of the pockets, all of these different things that I made. So I would throw those in a box. We dug into that box because we didn't have to make all the ephemera. Now again, we're just over 2.5 hours. But because we had all of that pre-made. Now, if you're looking to make ephemera like this, okay, that's going to take a little time. But what I suggest is when you make ephemera for your journals, if this is something that you're going to pursue, that you're interested in, don't just make one. Make multiple. And then put them in your stash so that when you put a journal together, you can do just what I did. I mean, this is what the box, let me get that out of the way because that's going to fall. This is what the box looks like. This side here is all of the ephemera that I have. This side here is all of the digital papers that I have. So with that, we made a beautiful journal. All right. And it will be called Ophelia. All right, Shay came up with that name. It's just intriguing for me. Ophelia is just intriguing for me. So that's what we're going to go with. We have a ribbon closure. This feels really good in the hands. I really like the way this feels. This journal in the back measures 7.5, and it's got a 3/4 of an inch curved spine. All right, and then the front measures 7. So we've got this 1/2 inch in the back that's sticking out. Our closure is a ribbon. The recipient can keep it or they can remove it. Or if they want, as they put it up on the shelf, they can tie the bow on this side as it sits on the shelf. Again, pieces that I made. These are clusters. This is another pocket. It had a hole here, so I put a brad there because we got to have some metal. And then we added, I'm not sure I'm liking that. Nah, I'm not liking that. Nope. We just added a couple tags for this pocket here. It's got some lace and it is sewn. It's got a poof. We got poofs. Poofs are bound, and poofs will always cross over the top and the side. That's usually the aesthetic. I leave this alone, again, for the recipient. Do they want to add a pocket? Do they want to add a flip? Whatever they would want to add to this, they can. And again, just having all of these pages and pulling those tags from my stash. Here we just took a piece of digital, folded it over, flipped it up, and created a pocket, and then trimmed it once it was in. We can use our ephemera as decorative tags. Use one of the happy kids. I love these happy kids. I'm going to look at this happy kid until Tuesday morning because, yes, that will get me through Monday. Yes. We have a couple of those cigarette tags as well. That's a tuck. This is not. This is just decorative. We can use our pieces just to decorate the page. Doesn't have to be a pocket. They can journal around it. Here we used a paper bag. Again, another large tag with some fabric or paper folded over, some buttons. Just use a piece of our digital to fill into the pocket. And that's coming out the side. Here we've got a little pocket. This is a cluster that we turned into a pocket, and it's coming off the edge. I just like that look. Again, another scrap. Plenty of space to journal. I am all about that. Gotta have a place to journal. It's called a journal. It's just how my mind works. More tags in a bag. We can use cutout ephemera pieces, poof coming off the side. That's our center. We turned this closed up end of the bag into another, like an envelope out of the bag, and just added a piece of metal to keep it closed for a secret message. Again, lots of space. And even though there's writing here, you can still journal on this. You know, they can add one of those scraps that's given and all of that. Here we use another piece of ephemera. It's a pocket, and then we glue down a cluster, again, hanging off. Strings coming out. A lunch bag, created a pocket, put a tag in. Journal, journal. You can add pieces just by the paper clip. You don't have to always glue them in. Again, another piece of the pattern paper. Another time that we took that page, flipped it up. 2 tags from our stash. It's our first signature. Sorry, I had to take a drink. Again, did the same thing. Large tag, just used twine for the top. Here's some tall tags. Lots of journaling. Here's another pocket with a tag. Here's an envelope that's covered in a napkin with Mod Podge. Just clip it on. Makes a great embellishment. Another pocket with a journaling card. And you don't need a special die for that. Just by using your hole punch. We created our own reinforcer and added a tag charm from the stash. There's our center. Another large pocket with a journaling card, another tall tag. I have a tickle in my throat. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Okay. I don't know if that'll work, but we'll try. All right, got more flips. So here we actually added a card so that we turned that into a flip out where there's fabric, and then we just added some ephemera pieces in there. We did another one of those closed end bags, turned it into an envelope, and then we have a large card there. And then we have a pocket back here where there's a paper clip hooked on, another fold out, an envelope, and another tag. And then there is our back. This is Ophelia. All right, so you can see, just have fun with it. Don't worry about, and I get it, it's tough. I absolutely get it. Absolutely get it. Don't worry about what's matching and what's not matching. When it comes to a journal, and I know everyone uses, or most people use the phrase junk journal. I do not. I don't use the term junk journal. I will use the term journal. I'm technically not using junk. I'm not going into my trash and adding things to this. All right. I'm taking things from my stash and creating this. You know, the file folder, yes, they were extras at a company I worked with. So did I save them from the trash? Yes, but they never made it into the trash. So I just don't call, now, have I made a junk journal? Yes, absolutely. But so I just call them journals. All right, but use what you have. We have a stash, whether it's stamps, it's dies, paper, stencils, whatever that is, you can create your ephemera. Absolutely. And have fun doing it. It breaks free from making a card. It breaks free from doing the normal things that you create. And making ephemera pieces or bits is a good way to clear out the mind and just say, okay, what do I want to do now? But you can also see we can incorporate our cards into this as well. They can be the flips when it comes to your journal. All right? So, not bad. I actually finished a project. Woohoo! Hello, Diane. How are you? Yes, stash journal. I like that. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Heard my name? Yeah. Okay. So, again, just have fun with it. Absolutely. Um, and no, this Ophelia will not meet the same end. Absolutely not. All right. So I'm going to let you guys go here. I hope I encouraged you to dig into your stash. Look at it just another way. I know we're card makers. I get it. But we can use it and give it new life and extend that stash of what we have to have fun, even more fun with it, and have more creations come out of it. All right. I will be live next Sunday. Yes. Today's what? Today's the 15th. Yes, I will be live next Sunday. Just wanted to make sure we weren't hitting a holiday. Holidays are coming up. All right. So, guys, I hope you have a great time. I just want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to all of those who purchased the stamps during the stamp sale. It is going on for another week, and when you go to the shop page for the website, it'll explain the wonderful problem I had. But you'll absolutely see that to understand it. 15% off all the stamps except for the heart and the mandala. They are 20%. They are being retired. So thank you to everyone so much. I'm truly grateful that you made a purchase, and I hope you enjoy them. And another shout out to the members of the membership. Thank you for being there. Thank you for making me part of your journey. I'm truly grateful with that as well. All right. So, guys, have a great day. Be creative. Please stay safe as our storms continue towards the east and the south. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and love to you all. Oh, the website is includeathankyou, all one word.com. Includeathankyou.com. Take care, everyone, and I'll have it linked down below. I'll see you next week. Bye.